Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of our Williams career here on F1 Manager 22. It's season 2, round 11. We're heading to Austria, to the Red Bull Ring at Spielberg. And we're coming off the back of another very strong result. And a very unexpected result at that as well. If we go to our previous race results, you can see that Théo Pourchaire got his first win for the team. Right after I was talking about firing him and replacing him, he ended up winning his first race, getting his first podium, and it just so happened to be the top step. So big congratulations to Théo there, and made me kind of eat my words a little bit. But we are still going to press ahead with the possibility of signing Lando Norris at the end of the season. We'll see if he's going to be interested first of all. But that was last night. Tonight we are heading to Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. This is a circuit that I think we could do very well at. We are very good at medium and high speed stuff, and that's quite a lot of this track. You know, the important part for us is making sure that we don't drop the DRS, and so the corners that build up from the end of the DRS sections to the start of the DRS sections is all high speed stuff. That's all good for us, so hopefully we'll be able to keep everything ticking over, you know, over each lap. We got our penalties out the way for Gasly last race as well, having taken Théo's penalties at Canada. So we've got plenty of engine components, etc. to play about with for this race. Let's go ahead and set our performance targets. So want us to get one car into Q2 as the incentive. We can easily do that. We're going to try and get both cars into the top 10 as we usually do, and so both cars into Q3. There we go. In terms of finish position, the incentive is 2 in the top 12. That should be easily achievable, assuming that both cars finish. We're going to go for the fastest lap as well, and then our quali streak and our finish position streaks still going. We are one of 3 races in for $1 million payout on the quali streak, and 2 of 5 in on the finish position streak for a 2.7 mil payout. So looking good there. Good evening, Anthony. Good evening, Trucker. Good evening, Jeremy. Good to see you guys.
The battle is surely going to rage this weekend. Welcome to the Green Hills of Austria. The Red Bull Ring hosted its first Grand Prix in 2014, and it's been spectacular ever since. The Red Bull Ring is one hungry beast of a power track. Drivers face a steep climb up to turn 3 and a fast ride downhill through wide corners and straights thereafter. There's plenty of opportunity to overtake here, especially with the help of 3 DRS zones. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. Okay then, let's get to it.
Okay, so here we are then at the Austrian Grand Prix. We have a bit of rain forecast for Saturday, so that could be either practice 3 or it could be quali. We just don't know yet. We won't know until we get to either practice 3 or quali. That could shake things up a little bit. We should hopefully have the cars all dialed in by that point in terms of practice, so it shouldn't affect practice too much, but it could shake things up again in quali. Be interesting to see how that goes. I'm going to give Logan a run in this Grand Prix. It's been a couple of races since we last gave him a run because the weather hasn't been ideal for him. It's never a good idea, I think, to send out a rookie if you've got rain on day 1, in case it hits in day 2 on the second session and breaks up your long run for the driver who got replaced. Let's look at some engine part swapping. So we'll go with our weakest engine as always, and same with the ERS parts. Gearbox, let's go with that gearbox. In terms of run plan, it's a very fast circuit, so we want at least 24 laps because it's a very quick lap. Let's actually make that 25 laps. Let's go with low pace as always, and I'm actually going to put Logan in for Teo, thinking about it. In terms of car parts over here, let's get those sorted out. And I can run this gearbox a little bit longer, at least for this one session. Might have to switch to it afterwards, we'll see. Let's go for a 25 lap run. Drop the fuel down, or the pace down, sorry. And let's get these cars set up. So as we always do, we're going to use the same starting positions we did last season. So that's a 5 on the front, a 13.5 on the rear, a 2.8 roll bar, a minus 2.95 on the camber, and then a 0.3 on the toe. And then for car 2, we're going to go with a 4.5 wing, a 13.5 rear, a 2.8 on the camber, 0.310 on, sorry, a 2.8 on the roll bar, a 0.310 or 3.10 on the camber, and then a 0.75 on the toe. And that is all within the bars as well, so that looks good. So we've got two different starting positions. Let's see how those shake out for our cars.
How's the radio on track?
Radio check.
That's green light. Watch those curbs.
Copy.
Okay, there we go. So our boys are out on the track. Let's leave them to it for a little while and see what they do. How's everyone else been getting on with their save files recently? Trucker finished his first season and came fourth. Congratulations. Moment for Logan there.
Any comments on balance?
Okay, first bit of feedback's in. A 96 for Logan's car. Very good, very good. Let's call that car in. And 82
What was the balance, please?
for Gasly. That'll need a little bit more work, but we're
really,
going to let
please.
him stay out and finish his run.
Copy.
So what do we need to tweak? Just the braking stability. So we can do that with just the toe. We're at 96, so that's going to be 2 clicks by the look of it. Let's go that way. We may need to swap that and go in the other direction, but we'll try this way first. And final tyres.
Someone's run wide.
Two cars out.
We have a crash.
Okay.
Yellow flag. Yellow flag.
That's on the final turn. One of the Alphas. One of the Alpha Tauris. We're not getting that replay? Or have we already missed the option for the replay? Guess we must have missed the prompt. I know one of the Alpha Tauris was involved. Beyond that, I don't know. Right, this one needs a little bit more work. So I'm going to drop the rear wing to 13. I'm going to increase the front wing to 5. Drop the tyre camber just a touch, and same with the toe, and let's see how that shakes out. We'll put on some fresh tyres and send them out with that. Right, let's have a look and see if we can see if anyone had a penalty issued. No. Albon's tyres are pretty bad. I'm guessing he was the Alpha Tauri that got hit or was involved in the crash. Don't know who else was though. Again, it doesn't say who was involved with the yellow flags.
I think we've had a car run wide.
Okay, Bottas running wide. So earlier on today I was messing around on my Mercedes file and I ended up with the closest qualifying session I've ever seen in the game. I've seen one closer in real life, which is kind of a legendary moment. But I had 3 cars separated by 1/1000th of a second. Pole and second and third, all 3 places were just 1/1000th of a second apart. Took a couple of screenshots. I'll post them on the community tab later if I remember. I'm going to stick them on Reddit as well. But yeah, that was incredible. It was Hamilton and the 2 Ferraris, all finishing within that 1/1000th of a second in the qualifying shootout. Absolutely bonkers. The only time I've ever seen anything even that resembles that actually happened in real life, and I believe it was Jerez in 1998 when Jacques Villeneuve, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and I think Michael Schumacher, all 3 of them set identical lap times. I know it was 2 Williams, and I think the 3rd car was Schumacher, but it might have been one of the McLarens. I'm not sure. Oh no, was it 97? I think it was 97. It was 1997, I think, and maybe I think it was Jerez. But all three cars finished with identical times, and that's incredible. That something that I've only ever seen once in real life actually got replicated almost in the game just by pure chance. It was just one of those weird moments that was pretty awesome. Alright, so we went the wrong way with the toe, so let's go back the other way. Let's go there. And that car is now prepped and ready, essentially. We won't send Logan back out, but that car will be 100% now for Teo, for FP2. It looks like the gearbox is on its very last legs now. Yeah, down to 9%. When something gets down to single digits, I don't run the risk of running it anymore, just in case it fails, because then that's essentially the end of the session, because it takes so long to replace a gearbox. I think it takes like half an hour to replace a gearbox.
Who's running wide then?
How is the balance, please?
Okay, up to 90 for Gasly, so we've made a little bit of an improvement.
Copy that.
A little bit more work to do though.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there.
Fail 84, please. Fail 84.
And there we go, end of the session. So, Teo gets his car back. We're going to slap on a set of hards, and we're going to run him for basically the entire session. Going to run him for 50 laps. That's him done. As for Gasly, I want to swap out that gearbox now. I don't trust it at single digits. So we'll go for gearbox number 2. We do need to tweak the setup a little bit. Okay, so traction, I've changed the traction. I'm trying to remember which way I moved. I moved the camber back a little bit, and that has gone the wrong way. So that needs to go back this way. I can't really mess around with the camber too much because it'll break. Okay, actually, let me put this car back where it started. So it started at, this is Gauss's car. It started there. And there, and there, and then we changed it to go to there, just so I can see which way I need to go with my traction and my braking stability. So yeah, I need to go to the left on both of those. So let's put this back to where we ended up. There we go. So I need to go left with traction, and I need to go left with the roll bar. So let's do that, and touch wood, that'll be 100% as well. Hard tyres, we'll do 2 runs, 25 laps each, just to make sure we can nail this car down. and then we won't have to worry about the weather in the final session.
Okay, radio check.
It's another big Grand Prix for the team as the next race. After Austria, we're going to head to France, which is it's essentially a second home race for both the team and very much a home race for our drivers, both of them young Frenchmen. So we'll be hoping for a very strong result at France. I don't know if I've got any car parts due before the French Grand Prix. I don't think I do. Which is a little bit of a shame. It'd be nice if we could have had an extra bit of development pop in, for that Grand Prix, but I don't think we've got anything on the books that's going to drop that soon. But we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. We've still got to get a good result here. I mean, we are looking very comfortable at the moment at the top of the drivers' standings. As you can see, Pierre with 180 points, 37 points clear of Sainz. In terms of the constructors, we are chasing down Ferrari. We are 27 points down on them now. It's very close. We've got 5 wins compared to their 3, but the reason they have more points is their second driver, Sainz, has actually been outperforming in terms of point haul, has been outperforming their number 1 driver in Charles Leclerc, and our number 2 driver, barring his fantastic win at Silverstone last time out, has had a pretty disappointing run of results this season. So that's the difference between winning and losing the Constructors' title, is having 2 strong drivers against 1 strong driver, which is why we've been considering replacing Teo at the end of the season. You can see Pierre's chipped in 4 wins and 7 podiums, 8 fastest laps and 3 pole positions. Teo 1 win, 1 fastest lap. And there's, speaking of Teo, there's a lockup for him. That's not great, but he has kept it out of the wall. And he's back underway again. Do I think that you can beat Red Bull with their own engine?
What was the balance, please?
Yes, I do. I think if you develop the car enough and have the right drivers, then yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to.
Balance update when you can. Balance update.
On my McLaren file, I've actually done that myself. I've chosen Red Bull engines for Season 2 so that I can reform the McLaren-Honda partnership that was abysmal in the late 2010s, but was mighty in the 1980s. Uh, 97%. Okay, that should be 100. Why is that not 100? Okay, maybe I overdid it with the too many clicks on the toe there. Maybe we'll have to dial it back a little bit. And we are 80 on setup confidence. Oh, we're way off. We've gone very, very wrong on that one. How's that one going? I haven't actually played on that file for a little while.
2 cars out, a lot of debris.
Got a crash. One of the fastest cars is out. That's Magnussen. Of course, it's Magnussen.
Contact and
Oh, and a
several
Ferrari.
cars involved. Let's see what happened there. Okay,
Oh,
here's
that's
the
not going to
Ferrari.
please Ferrari. Well, I say it's not going to please Ferrari colliding with their a collision with their customer team, but you know they're the one that caused the collision. So, been the other way around, that could have caused some problems. Yeah, as I've not played on the McLaren file for a little while, I kept Ricciardo for season 1 and hired Piastri as my young driver, my reserve driver, and then spent the whole of the first season just buffing Piastri, getting his tyre wear up to about 60, and then started work, I think, on something else, I'm not sure. I can't remember where I finished, and then I think I can't remember if I kept Ricciardo either for the second season. I think I replaced him. I think I replaced him with Piastri for season 2. But as I say, I've not played on that file for a couple of weeks now. I've been playing with the Mercedes file recently. I started an Alfa Romeo file tonight. Sorry, a new Aston Martin file tonight. And in season 1, I've basically forgone the usual route of immediately upgrading all the facilities as much as possible, and gone straight for just upgrading the driver lineup.
For your seat ending.
I spent enough money to create a new underfloor project, create a new suspension project, build a second one of the starting suspensions it gives you, so I had 2 of those while the new one was being designed. And then basically just swapped out both the drivers, and that's pretty much all I did. So I now have Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly as my driver lineup. I've only done 1 race so far, but an early safety car when Norris hit someone and had to change his front wing meant a change of strategy for tyres. Lando, I think, ended up coming in 15th, and Gasly came in 10th, and so I actually got a point in the opening race with Aston Martin. But the potential of those 2 drivers is there to really get much more out of the car than Vettel could. Much more. Okay, so we've gone too far the other way with that. That to me suggests that maybe we need to be about there. The roll bar's too far as well, but I need to be the other side of the line for the roll bar. So that's 90. I'm not sure how I'm going to get this. Revert back to that. How am I going to improve this? It's got to go this way, surely. That's too much, though. I'm going to try just changing the toe for now. Just do that and leave it at that and see what that does. Okay, there we go. So Gasly's back out on track. Yeah, that little spin from Teo, not the spin, sorry, that lockup he had on turn 1, that stunted how much XP he could have got from this race, or from this session. I'm going to extend his
We've just had a car run wide.
his run ever so slightly, just in case. See if I can just get him going all the way to the flag. So I don't think I've got quite enough fuel to run at normal pace. I've gone down 2%. I'm struggling with this setup for Gasly. I'm going to call him in now. Cancel that call in. Okay, so it's broken the cornering. It's made no impact at all. Try going to a 1.9. I'm going to go with that. I really don't know if that's going to work. I'm a little bit flummoxed on this one at the moment.
We'll get some comments when you're back in the garage and plugged in.
Okay, so
After a day of free practice yesterday, we wrap up with the third and final session before moving on to qualifying. Each team will be looking to build on the progress they made during yesterday's practice sessions. When it comes to preparation, absolutely nothing should be left to chance. Everything has to be just right. Of course, by the time the cars hit the track, well, there are some things in Formula One that no one can prepare for. Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
So a little bit of a head scratch on that one there. Just couldn't seem to figure out Gasly's car. I don't know if that'll work or not. Oh, I see. So we actually got the toe correct, but we knocked out the cornering in the process. So I'm going to have to use camber to correct that. So... or am I thinking of the other... no, I'm thinking of this... yeah, because we were over here. And that was originally optimal. So what I've done is I've moved that fractionally to the right. So I need to move it back to the left. And then try and tweak it slightly. Have I damaged the front wing by doing that? I think that might be okay. Let's find out. We'll go with just in case it's another dry session, we'll go with 52 laps of fuel. And yeah, got to see if that is going to work for Gasly. So Again, we're going to double run him. Just going to go with 22 laps. That'll be enough. Evening, Mr. Water.
Radio check. Watch those curbs.
Oh, we've had a spin.
Yep, Magnussen having another moment. Well, I say having another moment. He wasn't really at fault for the last one, was he? He got torpedoed by one of the Ferraris, so we'll let him off the hook for that one.
Someone's run wide.
Alright, feedback should be coming any moment. Have we unlocked the problem?
How is the balance, please?
Wow, we got closer. 96, that's the closest we've come with Gasly's car. Let's give him a call.
Yeah, copy that.
Get him back in.
How was the balance?
And there we go. We got Teo to 100%. Excellent stuff. Weather looks like it's going to stay dry for the whole session, so it looks like we're going to have a wet quali instead then. Okay, and as the boxes get a little bit smaller, that makes it a little bit easier for us to figure out which way we need to go. So the camber has to go there. Question is, how big of a jump does it need to be? Because that looks like it's going to disrupt traction and the front wing. Now I could counter that maybe with a little bit of a change to the front wing like that, but that will affect the rear wing. So what I need to do first of all is see if I can make the change just by moving the toe. That gives us a subtle, very subtle change to cornering and a decent little change to our braking stability. So that should hopefully be all we need to do. So, a short run with Gasly will hopefully give us the results we need to get him to optimal. And now we're just waiting on track knowledge for Teo. Yeah, the unforeseen complications, from what I understand, it's a problem getting it certified by Sony. There's obviously something that's broken within the PS5 version, or something that's not in a condition that Sony are happy to certify to put it on the store, and so it won't go up until that gets fixed. Apparently anyone who had a pre-order is going to get that cancelled and refunded automatically
I
So
think someone's run wide.
we'll just have to wait and see what the situation is with that. But yeah, I posted about that on Twitter a couple of days ago, saying yeah, it makes me a bit sad because I was really looking forward to that game. And we'll just have to wait and see what comes out of it. There's a link on my Twitter page to the story from
the balance, please?
the FM Manager website. So if anyone wants to see the official story,
Copy.
then it's there on my Twitter page. Okay, Gasly, I got him to 99%. I think I might just leave him at that. Yeah. If I go the wrong way with the toe, then I'm going to break potentially something, and I don't want to take that risk. 99 is close enough. So Gasly's done for the session. We don't have to worry about him. Teo just needs another lap or two, and then he's done.
Who's running wide
There we go.
there?
Teo's done. And practice is over. I have a laptop. It's not in the best condition, and
That
it
sounds
certainly
like someone's
doesn't have the
gone wide
graphics
there.
capability to run games. So yeah, effectively, I don't have a PC in that respect. Most of the stuff I barely ever use it as well. I mean,
Alright, buddy, good job once
I
again.
bought it second hand
See
several
you
years
on
ago,
shore.
just as a portable Blu-ray player. A Sony Vaio laptop, paid a couple £100 for it, and it was fine for what I used it for, but the screen's dying and I barely use it anymore, and anytime I tend to do anything on the web, I do it on my phone. So alright, so Sights has a penalty. It must be Sights that torpedoed Magnussen. See, he's got a penalty. So that's one less car to worry about in terms of qualifying ahead of Pierre. Right, let's swap some parts out. What engines have we got? 78%. I'll save that. I've got a 99, a 99, and a 92. We'll go with a 92. Let's put in the better ERS and a better gearbox. There we go. And we'll take out the extra little bit of fuel. On a short lap like this, every gram counts. For Pierre's car, engine wise, I've got an 82, 96, 99, 96. We'll go with this 96 here. Let's swap out that unit there, and that gearbox is fine. And again, we'll take out the extra little bit of fuel. Right, time to go qualifying.
Radio check, yeah, can you hear me?
Copy.
Oh, yes, we have rain coming, don't we? Let's send our guys out now. I'm not as into football as I used to be. I still follow it, but I don't have the same sort of passion. I'll lock up. At least it's on the outlap. I don't have the same passion that I did when I was a bit younger. I certainly don't have the same knowledge, player-based knowledge that I did 10, 15, even 10 years ago. I had a lot more knowledge. 15, 20 years ago, I was incredibly knowledgeable about players, but not so much anymore. So, yeah, I'll have a sort of a knowledge gap when I play that game for the first time. Alright, let's see what lap times we can do before the rain starts. Gas is looking pretty quick. But he is the first one out on track, I think. So... of course he's going to be purple. And there we go, across the line, a 103.2. That's not too bad. That's pretty quick. Mateo 0.3 of a second behind him. Okay. So we are faster than Sainz at the moment, and here comes the rain. Evening, Farah. Okay, that rain's going to stay for the rest of the session, so that's it for us for this session. We're not going to run again. The track's always going to have an element of dampness, so we're not going to be able to go any quicker than we have done. We're one of the few drivers that managed to set a time on dry tyres. Okay, so who's in risk of going out? Let's see. Alonso, he's got to improve. Vettel will probably improve a bit. Hamilton and Russell, maybe. I don't know if they set their times on inters or not. Everyone's on inters now. I would imagine we're going to see no real change in the running order.
Fail 84, please. Fail 84.
It depends whether the guys who set their times up here set them on inters when the track was a little bit drier than it is now. We might not see massive improvement from some of these people. Might not see any improvement. And in fact we didn't. The Mercedes stayed where they were, did not improve their times. I don't think anybody improved their times, apart from maybe these guys down the bottom here, but Alonso is out. He's very much out. Some drivers improved their times a little bit, but nobody improved their position, it would seem, at the back. They stayed in that drop zone, so that's a big casualty in the first round there, Fernando Alonso. They are a team that would go very well at this circuit, so one of those out the way is a big bonus for us. Alright, putting on the scrubs.
Yeah, we can now. Radio check.
And we have got rain coming at the end of the session again, so let's go out now while the track is quiet.
No more rain from what we can see. Keep us updated on track condition, please.
Okay, we've got clean runs. We're not going to set the timing screen to light here. We're going to get beaten by some of these cars, I think, because we are running scrub tyres, but we don't need to finish top. We just need to get through the top 10, and that shouldn't be an issue, even with scrubs. And there's the rain again.
Starting to have a little bit of rain.
Okay, so this puts Russell, Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, puts them all at risk here. I think Sainz is setting his time now. No, Sainz is starting his lap now, so Sainz is in trouble because he's on slicks. There he is. And the track is almost too wet for these tyres. Perez hasn't even gone out yet. Verstappen is leaving now on slicks. Oh, that's bad for him. Bottas is leaving on slicks. Ocon's on slicks. Russell hasn't gone out yet. If Russell comes out now on inters and Perez comes out now on inters, they will effectively book the last two spots in the top 10. They haven't gone out yet. Oh, there we go. Perez and Russell both going out now, where the track is just a little wet. This should see them go up to 9th and 10th. 10th and 11th. Oh, interesting. There's enough of a crossover for the slicks at the moment for Sainz. It's got to be close though. Yeah, look at that. He just managed to squeeze the time in. I think Sainz and Russell might be okay. I don't know about Perez and Verstappen and Bottas. That's 3 big casualties that could go out in this session here. Whoa, we're looking at a very, very shaken up grid here. It's getting wetter. Alright, I've got to see this. This could be very interesting. So everyone's on inters, as you'd expect. Track is definitely wetter than it was when the first set of runs were finished. You can see Verstappen, Bottas and Ocon are improving, but nobody else is. Verstappen and Perez are both out. Bottas is out. That's huge. 3 massive casualties. And so Magnussen is in the top 10. Stroll is in the top 10. Tsunoda is in the top 10. Ricciardo's in the top 10. All of a sudden, it's looking like we're on for pole here, and Porsche could be on for second row. Sainz is going to be up there. It's going to be between Porsche and Hamilton, I think, for fourth, because it's going to be Sainz, Leclerc and Gasly for pole, one of those 3, and then Porsche or Hamilton will be in fourth. But neither of the Red Bulls making it through. That is massive. Don't forget Sainz has that penalty as well. what a manic qualifying we've had so far. So brand new slick tyres, take the extra fuel out. There we go. Brand new slicks, take out the extra fuel. Are we going to have rain in this session as well?
The radio is good? You can hear me, yeah?
No, but there is a chance of rain progressing as the season goes on. One of the Ferraris is going out straight away. We're going to send both of our cars out now.
Rain's just stopped.
Let's see how we do. Okay, no purple sectors. Oh, Gasly sets purple in the final sector. He takes provisional pole by just 32 thousandths of a second. This is going to be close. This is going to be so close. I'm just trying to decide whether to do another run at the end of the session, and if so, on what tyres. I don't really want to waste another set of slicks. Want to leave myself the option of a two-stop with two brand new sets of softs, although it's only taken 7% of the life of the tyres. Screw it. We will go for another run with brand new tyres. Oh, just missed out on pole provisionally by 5 thousandths. Yeah, Gasly is in front. Good. Alright, here we go. Let's watch this quali, see how we do. Let's see some purple sectors, please. In fact, are we the only ones on brand new tyres? No, everyone's on brand new tyres. Okay. Ricciardo qualifies 6th. Again, looking pretty punchy. Stroll 9th. Hamilton 5th. Oh, this is amazing. So we're guaranteed 4th, or, you know, as a minimum with Porsche. I don't think he's going to be able to gain enough time to catch Leclerc. No improvement for any of the other teams, it would seem. They're staying in their same positions. What can we do? Can we take pole position? Yes, we can. And Porsche does improve his time slightly, but we take pole by just under 300ths of a second, 29 thousandths. Porsche exactly 2/10 slower than Sainz. We are 1st and 4th. And Sainz has the penalty, so we are first and third. Excellent stuff. So that gives us the option and the opportunity to sprint both our drivers away at the line, to jump Sainz, to jump Leclerc, and just try and sprint both of our cars into the distance in the opening laps, and then settle down from there. I'm assuming that is a 3-place penalty for the collision, but I didn't see a penalty issued, so that might actually be a 10-place penalty if he's knackered up an ERS unit or something in that crash that he had. Yeah, we'll have to see how far down the grid he drops.
Race day has arrived and the time has come for these drivers to fight it out wheel to wheel.
Williams made short work of the qualifying session here and have been rewarded with strong grid positions to start the race. We saw a reasonably good qualifying performance from Ferrari, and they certainly have a good chance to capitalize during the race. And the sun is shining bright here today. This is perfect weather for teams and drivers alike to show us what they're capable of.
And this is the moment where it all comes together. So prepare for another thrilling race here at the Austrian Grand Prix.
We have a cloudy but dry race, so no weather to interfere. We're starting first and third. In terms of strategy, the one stop is probably the way to go. Question is, do I start on the mediums or do I start on the hards? The mediums would give us a better chance of sprinting at the start, but if we can get up front and control the grid on hards, then we can finish the race very strong indeed. I might do that. If I look to go to lap 42, and then lap 43 with Teo, I'll actually go lap 41 with Teo, because he's got less pace. So we want him on the fresher tyres before Gasly if we're going to keep them together. And that does give us the option of maybe extending and going on to softs instead of mediums towards the end. Let me have a look at amending the soft strategy. If I can get these to go to lap 44, which should be fine for Teo, that might actually work out a little bit quicker. That's about the same. So we've got that flexible option there. We'll go with the medium strategy, but we can convert that to a finishing on softs depending on how the race goes. Let's do the same for Gasly. So we're looking around lap 44. I am going to put in a little bit of extra fuel so I can sprint hard at the start. I don't really want to push the tyres, I want to push the fuel load. And I want both of my drivers to go full deployment on the ERS at the start as well. I already put the extra fuel in. Yes, I did. Actually, I'm going to play it safe. I am going to push, at least for the first lap, I'm going to go aggressive on the tyre wear. But only for one lap, I think. Just to try and get away from Leclerc as quickly as possible. He's going to be mighty fast as well. Okay. Let's go racing.
We have beautiful blue skies overhead as the drivers line up on the grid. And there we have Pierre Gasly. They're starting today at the head of the pack, but will they be able to stay there? And looking at the second Williams car, they're up in third position, tantalizingly close to pole. Everything's been building to this. The crowd are ready, the cars are ready. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Okay, we're not going to get the best traction off the line because we are on hard tyres. The Ferrari's looking like it might jump us. It has, and so is the Mercedes, but...
Okay, so let's keep going.
We can get those positions back. Gaz has already got the position
Mercedes
back.
moved up a place.
Okay, that's good, very good.
And Teo looking at the inside there, not quite being able to pull that one off.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
But there are now 2 cars between him and Gasly, which is not ideal. I've got to get past Hamilton and Leclerc as quick as I can with Gasly, with Porsche, if I'm going to make this sprint strategy work. I might have to push the tyres an extra lap. Got to get past Hamilton quick. Come on, find a way through. Up the inside here. Gasly's already broken the DRS, which will kick in start of next lap. But without Porsche up there to help him, he's going to be vulnerable to Leclerc. I think Leclerc is going to easily break away from Hamilton. I want to be up there with both Leclerc and Gasly. Oh, there we go. That's the move for third.
Nice work.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be able to open up a big enough gap to Hamilton. He's going to come with us.
DRS enabled, DRS enabled.
DRS disabled, DRS disabled. Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Okay, recharge on.
Okay, so we've got a breakaway group of 5 cars. These guys are going to catch Gasly. He's isolated. So at least it's only a 5-car breakaway, and not, half the field. The fact that the Red Bulls are nicely down the order as well helps. Sainz being in 4th suggests to me that he did get a 3-place penalty rather than a 10-place penalty, so it was a penalty for the collision rather than a component swap. This is a circuit where safety cars do come into play. I've had many a safety car on this circuit before, so So that is something that could still make its presence felt in this race.
When you're ready.
Be careful I don't drop out of range here.
Alright, ready, push, push.
Back in range. Gonna have to really be careful charging up Porsche here. Gasly's going to have to wait.
Recharge on, good job, recharge on.
With the Ferraris blocking each other like this, where they're driving in that line, that staggered line, but not overtaking, that's keeping Gasly up front. But if one of them gets a clean pass, they'll be on Gasly straight away. And there we go. That's the clean pass, and now Leclerc is within the 1 second range.
So we will go recharge off.
Charge on for now.
Yeah.
So the plan to get both cars off the line quickly and sprint away didn't work. Probably because we're starting on the hard tyres, so we didn't have enough grip to get both cars away clean. Porsche got stuck. So now we're going to play the waiting game. We're going to be slower in general terms because of these tyres than the cars in front, but the DRS will keep us with them. So now we just have to wait them out. They're on mediums, so if we're lapping at medium pace on hard tyres, that's a bonus. Unfortunately, we have got that extra fuel, which will wear our hard tyres down faster than they would normally do. So we may have to watch out for that. We may have to stay on the medium strat and not go for the softs at the end. Yeah, it depends on whether we get a safety car, and that allows us to recoup some tyre wear.
Let's go recharge on.
Once I've got both drivers settled into their battery position, I'm going to turn the fuel burn down and save it for when the mediums start wearing out a little bit, and then push until we make our stops. Gasly is at risk of dropping out of range.
Okay, you can go charge off.
Copy.
Charge on, charge on.
Yeah, copy.
Oof. That always worries me when I see a lockup like that.
DRS disabled, DRS
Oh,
disabled.
hello. That is a safety car. That's a full safety car.
We've had a crash.
Okay, I didn't see who was involved in that, but I can see someone is out. Magnussen is out. Has he been taken out of the race again? Or did he crash? I'm not seeing a penalty next to anyone.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
So this is where having the extra fuel is going to hurt us, because our car's going to be heavy. We'll have to burn that off at some point. Gasly's ERS is fully charged.
Charge off.
Copy.
Let's see, Verstappen has fought his way up to 8th already, and this safety car has definitely helped him out, falling back up to the pack. Ricciardo is still in 6th. Norris is all the way down in 15th. What is going on with Norris at the moment? He is being massively outperformed by Ricciardo, which just seems odd. It's so it's normally the other way around.
Look at that! They've run wide!
Stroll managing to throw his car off the track under a safety car. Good man. Look at tyre conditions. So a lot of the field's actually starting on the hards, a lot more than I was expecting. I wonder how many of those are going to go onto softs, or are going to come in earlier for the mediums.
Okay, safety car is in this lap. Safety car is in this lap. Come on. No lift and coast required.
Alright, we're not going to push. We're going to keep the fuel burn a little high so we can burn off some of this fuel. Not going to push the tyres because they're already going to take a little bit more of a beating with this fuel setting. We're not going to push the battery. And let's see how this field breaks out. Let's see where the gap opens up. I think the gap's going to open up behind Verstappen. It's already looking, threatening to open up a gap there. Ferrari's threatening to break away from Gasly. Have to spend a little bit of battery to keep pace.
Yeah.
Same with Porsche, yeah. Harder tyres taking a while to get up to speed. Need the DRS. Once that kicks in, we'll be fine. And it looks as though we're going to break the gap to Ricciardo. That's going to be the first gap. means we should hopefully be able to drop Russell. One less car to drag along with us. Okay, there we go. Interestingly, Hamilton is going to lose the DRS, it looks like.
Okay, DRS enabled.
Okay, this gives Porsche a chance to leapfrog him.
Seems to have been a lockup.
Okay, buddy, nice work.
And there's an overtake
Ooh.
from Williams.
Sainz has
Let's take a closer
thrown himself
look.
off the track.
Now we see the Williams here.
There he is. I wonder where he's gone. And of course, because he's locked up in the whole field today, he's going to have to wait
Gaining a position there.
to come
It'll
back
make it
on.
look so easy.
That might drop him all the way to the back of the field. No, there he is, just getting ahead. He's
think
held
it's
up the
safe
rest
to
of the
say
field
that
though, so that's
went
opened
out.
up a big gap already. And that's screwed over Verstappen, which I'm fine with. Don't want him fighting his way through. We want to try and keep him as far away from us as possible. He's blisteringly quick at a track like this. And now we have
Okay, good job.
Porsche a distant third already. I'm going to see if I can sprint
And a
away
new
from
position,
Porsche.
Just gained by Williams.
Sprint Porsche away from Hamilton. Don't think I can.
Very good luck. Very good job, Pierre.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to close the gap to these guys. It's so hard to make up ground if you drop out the DRS train on this track, if you don't have a car that is faster than the ones you are chasing, and it needs to be,
It's
you
a
know,
race position
several tenths
gained from
a second
Mercedes.
faster. Because otherwise all it takes is a couple of DRS overtakes in the train, and any ground that you would make up in the second half of the lap you immediately lose through the DRS zones, and you just drop further and further back. Porsche's only chance of catching is if Gasly basically can
Nicely done.
stop Leclerc from overtaking, and then he and Hamilton keep overtaking each other, which is what's happening at the moment. That's the only way those guys are going to get back in touch.
It's a race position gained from Mercedes.
Just all over the place.
Okay, keep it clean. Focus on the pace.
Okay, Porsche has no battery. Let's try and charge a little bit while he's behind Hamilton.
Recharge on.
We've left Russell behind, 3 seconds behind us now. Sainz has already blistered away from Verstappen there.
Okay, that's good, Pierre, very good.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Hamilton got the overtake on us with DRS.
You can
That's
go
not
recharge
good.
off if you want.
It's going to drop me a second behind.
Okay, charge on.
Okay.
Here we are, slowly catching back up to Hamilton. Quick enough. I don't really have any battery to fight with, which is the annoying thing. I've got a little bit, but don't really want to have to spend it yet. I have to though. Otherwise I'm going to end up getting sucked back into that battle between Ricciardo and Russell.
DRS disabled, DRS disabled.
Okay, yellow flag. Somebody must have just gone a little bit wide. I think it was one of the...
I think we've had a car
shit.
run wide.
Come on, get going again. Get going. Go, 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 go.
Here's the replay. Now we see the Williams here. They're forced wide, and they won't be happy at all about that.
So Porsche having another poor race.
And that's the lockup.
He's now dropped behind Sainz, and there's no way he's going to catch him. So
Oh,
that's
and
Porsche's
Ferrari
race
just gained a
done.
place.
The only way he's going to catch back up now is with a safety car. So it's all on Gasly again, and this is why I want to get rid of Teo at the end of the season. He throws away too many points, too many points positions.
Haas with an overtake.
Charge off.
Copy.
So once again, a race where we could have really
And a new
used
position, just gained by Williams.
both of our drivers getting a huge result is going to be reduced to one of our drivers getting a good result, the other one scrapping for the bottom end of the points.
Red Bull gained a place.
I know it's not entirely his fault. I know that the car's braking needs to be improved, and that is something we are definitely going to be working on this season, is improving brake cooling.
So a recharge off.
And we've been pumping points into his reactions, and we've been looking at boosting his braking as well, but he doesn't have, he's not at the level he needs to be at for us to have a real shot at the constructors. As long as he keeps doing this, we're just going to lose. We're going to lose ground in the constructors fight. In another 2 or 3 seasons, Porsche is going to be a mighty driver.
So we
but,
keep focusing on the pace.
we can't wait another 3 seasons.
Ferrari advance the race position.
so we'll let someone else develop him. I know I said we were going to wait till the end of the season, but if this continues, we may look at maybe approaching Norris after Hungary in the mid-season break, if he's willing to negotiate.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
So recharge on, please.
At least the one good thing to come out of this is the fact that he is on the hard tyres, so are the cars that he's around, so he's not out of sequence in the sense that he's not running mediums in a gaggle of hard cars and losing the potential of his tyres or dragging, you know, slower cars further up the field. You know, he's lapping with cars.
Okay, that's good, very good.
On the same tyre compound, so he's not losing an advantage, he's not giving an advantage to others. Leclerc and Gasly are pulling away from Hamilton because they are swapping positions back and forth in the DRS zones. 4-second gap now. It's going to be between Gasly and Leclerc for the win.
Good job, Pierre.
And like I said, the only way that's going to change is a safety car or a big accident, taking drivers out of position. You left me a gift. Oh wow, that is very generous of you there, Trucker. Thank you so much.
Recharge off.
Farah's aim is to take the worst team in the game to the top. He'd probably be okay for that. It depends how quickly you want to do it. This is what I was saying.
Someone's run wide.
This is what I was saying earlier with my Aston Martin file. I've got, for the very first race of the season, at the very start of the career, I put, Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly in and got rid of Vettel and Stroll. It meant I had no money to upgrade any facilities, and it put me about 4 mil in debt, 4 or 5 mil in debt. But it gave me 2 drivers that are instantly capable of pushing that car much higher up the finishing order than would normally be possible. So once the parts start rolling in, it means that car will be finishing much higher up the grid, much more consistently than it would with the original driver lineup. So, I mean, you could take a team like Haas, which I think potentially could be the hardest way to start, would be to do a Haas playthrough, because their facilities are so poor and their staff is, apart from Resta, their staff isn't great. I mean, Melvin is an okay aero guy, but not a great aero guy. Resta's a great technical chief. Their mechanics are terrible. Their facilities are almost non-existent. Their budget is low. So there's very little you can do with Haas, depending on how you go. If you go down the route of you've got to upgrade the facilities, that gives you no budget to really do anything with your drivers unless you want to go right into debt. So Haas could be a team that would be a good challenge for getting, worst to first kind of thing. I mean, they have a decent starting car, but it depends how well you can get those results going. Aston Martin is a tricky one. They have terrible staff, decent engineers, decent-ish facilities, not great facilities. I mean, they have a Spec 2 design centre, but only Spec 1 wind tunnel, Spec 1 CFD. But they have a big budget, which enables you to either spend a lot of money into your facilities right from the start, or change your driver lineup for a really strong driver lineup. Williams has facilities that are basically at the same level as Aston Martin's, maybe slightly higher, but a significantly smaller budget. So, yeah, I would say it's pretty tough to look at as to which one of those three is going to be the hardest to play through. I mean, putting a good driver into one of those three cars instantly transforms how well they're going to do. Look at how Gasly has helped transform this team.
Nicely done.
Ferrari, advance the race position. Oh, big lock up there.
And we put Norris in this car,
Williams.
and see the difference in results that Porsche would get compared to Norris.
Keep you cool.
It would be night and day. Norris would be right up there with Gasly every single race.
Yeah.
So we could effectively double, at minimum, double the amount of points that Porsche has got right now, and that's where we'd be with Norris in the car.
Don't tell me.
Hey there, Marcel. Good to see you. Most people go for Gasly because he's good as a first driver. It's not just that. He's relatively cheap. He's only £7 million a season, which is very affordable. He'll go sign for most teams straight away. The only team he won't sign for straight away, I think, or the only two teams he won't sign for straight away. I'm not sure about Haas. He definitely won't sign for Williams straight away. Oh no, he will. He will sign for Williams straight away. So yeah, he'll go for pretty much any team straight away. He's £7 million a season. His braking stats are one of the highest in the game. The only one who's got a comparable braking stat to him is Norris, and the braking stat is probably the most important pace stat. He already has a braking of like 91, as does Norris, or around that figure.
You're doing a good job.
It makes him an incredible purchase, and at £7 million a season, that's a bargain. And if you want to go real bargain, you could try and, depending on which team you're with, you could get Alonso. But there's no real room for progression with Alonso. It'll take a lot longer to get any points for him to boost a couple of areas. Whereas Gasly is still only 26 in the game, so 25, 26. So he's still got a positive multiplier.
Cool, it's all good.
Position gained for Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, Gasly is one of those drivers that is kind of a shortcut to quick success. We've finally burnt off the extra fuel.
Can
We're
we do a
starting to
lift
see
and
some
coast?
pit stops for the medium runners. Hamilton and Zhou are both in. Russell's going to be in soon. That's going to help us. Russell coming in soon. The sooner he comes in, the sooner Ricciardo's going to start dropping back towards these guys a little bit. Or the sooner these guys will start, you know, hauling him in, reeling him in. At the moment, him and Russell have been swapping positions back and forth. And there goes Leclerc. Russell and Lando is a good combo.
He's just had a car run wide.
Lando should win out in head-to-heads between the two in terms of pace, but you'll get more life out of the tyres with Russell. Okay, so one of the the Astons had a lock-up. It's a crash. Is this a safety car? Or is it just yellow? Oh wait, the Sainz got hit. He hit Sainz. Did Schumacher hit Sainz there? I think he did. And Sainz got damage. He is. He's missing his left front wing end plate. Excellent stuff. So that Ferrari is injured. It's a limping car now. Oh, Teo, another locker. Oh, wow. That's it. He's out. That's 0-0.
Oh, and that's a crash. Let's take a look at the replay. Now we see the Williams here.
Did I take anyone else out as well? Nope.
Oh, a nasty
Just
crash
straight into the
there.
wall, and then that's a huge crash.
And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
Right, it's a little early. I don't think I can really realistically make the mediums go that far. So what I might do is go soft. It's a bit of a risk. I need to pause and think for a second. Let's have a look. I could just about make the mediums last if I look after them, but I'm going to be slow at the end of the race compared to the hard tyres. That's not great. So the other option is to try and push. And go soft. I'm going to go for this strategy. See if I can stretch the tyres, and if we do get a late safety car, it gives me the chance to come in for a set of softs. So let's go ahead and make that stop. Conserve the tyres. This will get me back out in front.
Okay, mate.
of Leclerc.
Terribly sorry. That's our race done, unfortunately.
Alright, so I'm going to drop behind Ricciardo, who still needs to pit, but I am going to get out ahead of Verstappen and Bottas, and Leclerc is going to have to get past both of those guys as well. They're going to be on older hards for a while. So as long as they can hold back Leclerc for a little while, it gives me a chance to open up a little bit of a gap without having to really exert the tyres. You reckon Taylor's pissed on my chips? That's an expression I don't hear very often. Teo's a decent young driver, but any driver who doesn't have a solid braking stat, which is basically any young driver, is going to be prone to lockups, especially in a car that doesn't have great brake cooling. If you have poor brake cooling, you're going to have big lockups like that, and big lockups tend to lead to big crashes. Great brake cooling means a lockup is generally quite small, and if the driver's accuracy is good, their control is good, their braking is good, then it minimises all of those things right down to the barest minimum. So I mean, he's a solid young driver, but that's just it. He's a young driver and needs time to be seasoned. Because of our budget constraints, we put him straight in a car because he was better than Latifi. But at the end of the day, that's not saying much. How you doing, Corey? So yeah, this is why I want to get Norris. Norris has got amazing braking stats, same as Gasly. It will minimise the impact of lockups until we can really get the brake cooling under control. Plus he has great pace and consistency as well. So he'll really help get the most out of the car, which Teo just isn't at a high enough level to do yet, and won't be for another 2 or 3 years minimum. If you're in a bigger team and you've got established drivers, you want to stick with them, or just replace your drivers with a better established driver and pick a promising young driver like a Teo Pourchaire or a Logan Sargent or a Oscar Piastri, Frederick Vesti, someone like that, and just train them for 3 or 4 seasons before you put them in the car.
Racing from the control line.
Pourchaire went in the car from day one.
We have margin to push a bit more.
Yeah.
Alright, with the better tyres, even at a slightly slower pace, I should easily be able to get past Ricciardo. I could sprint, but I'm not going to because it would be a waste.
Very good job.
Because the cars behind would just leapfrog their way back into contention again.
position, just gained by Williams.
I just need to let Gasly
That sounds like someone's
tick
gone
over
wide
like
there.
this for the rest of the race now. Keep control of those tyres, not wear them out early. Keep the battery in a ready state, so if I need it, I've got it. Hope that I can maybe open up a 1 second gap over this lap without having to push. And then hope that these slower cars will hold each other up. Do they grow at all with inactivity, or are you required to do what you do with Logan? No, they will. All young drivers will develop in the background. All drivers on the grid will develop, you know, over the course of a season at a basic, very basic rate. So it doesn't matter if it's a driver, you know, you'll see as time goes on, you know, over the seasons, all the drivers on the grid will improve. Even the drivers who are not, you know, not in a team, they will gradually improve over time. But the best way to improve a rookie is to stick him in, stick him in a reserve slot and then send him out every session, every FP1 session. That is the quickest, most surefire way to massively jump a young driver ahead of the competition. So, Verstappen and Ricciardo scrapping. Hopefully they're going to slow each other down with that. Leclerc has already got past Bottas. That's not good. We might not get the fastest lap. I mean, I could push for it now, but we wouldn't keep it by the end of the race. All I'd be doing is burning up the tyres, and at the end of the race we won't really have the tyres to push for the fastest lap anyway, so we'll just have to forego that unless, as I say, we get another safety car. We can bring in Gasly for another set of new tyres, and then we can really attack in the closing stages of the race. Okay, Ricciardo's doing his job. He's staying in front of Verstappen and Leclerc right now. It's allowing us to open up a gap without having to push. That's good. We want to see our tyre wear decrease at a rate of, you know, slower than the predicted wear, so that we've got something to fight with at the end. If oh, Bottas has run wide, I think. He's lost a few places.
Who's running wide there? We can take a look now. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one. And they've gone wide, very wide. That's not ideal. Not ideal at all.
Trucker's spelling seems to be better tonight. Maybe he has turned on autocorrect. Maybe he is lubing degenerate. Alright, Verstappen and Leclerc are both through. Oh no, Leclerc is still side by side. We're going to keep an eye on this. McLaren are having a really strong race here. They've been awful all season, and now look at them, 4th and 5th here. Leclerc is the first of the runners that's going to go to the end behind us. He's not making another stop. Everyone else, you know, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Norris, Vettel, Bottas, Perez, they're all making another stop because they're still on their starting tyres. Then you've got Russell and Hamilton who have stopped, and then needs to stop, has stopped and is held all the way back here in traffic. Needs to stop, has stopped, needs to stop. So we're looking very, very comfortable right now. Although Leclerc has now broken through into second place, so he will start to probably pull us in a bit. Any experience of rubber banding? No, not really. And then get a little bit of frame rate slowdown on twilights within the game. So Abu Dhabi is a race where you get frame stutters, where the frame rate isn't buttery smooth as it should be. But no real rubber banding. Same on the PS4 version. It seemed to run fine. It took a little longer for some of the textures to pop in than it does in the PS5, and obviously the loading times are better, but it still ran fine. Or, well, I say it ran fine. Like I said, the caveat to that is that, you know, I was running the PS4 version on the PS5, so wasn't running it on the PS4 itself. So I had that ability to boost the performance, you know, in the background. Your mileage may vary if you're using just a PS4. Right, let's take a look at lap times. We are still lapping a few tenths of a second faster than Leclerc. Having Leclerc as second might actually be the best thing for us. If he can hold off Verstappen, which he's more than capable of doing, and stop him from the other. As soon as I start saying that, Verstappen overtakes him. If those two can keep blocking each other for most of the DRS zones, and that's not going to happen on every time, but if they can block each other on most of the DRS zones and not swap positions too often, we will lap faster than them. But if they start swapping places back and forth in every zone, they'll start closing us in pretty quickly. Oh, you were talking about a different form. Okay, yeah. Rubber banding for me, I always consider, you know, like lag. That's why I've always thought of lag as rubber banding. Sometimes you get a weird, the car will have a weird braking and will allow another car to just, you know, steam in under brakes, or you'll brake really, really sharply and lose a load of ground, you know, in the next acceleration zone as a result. But you know, no, performance seems to be fine. But yeah, generally when someone talks about rubber banding, my mind immediately goes to, you know, lag. Right, Ricciardo is into the pits. That's one car out of the way. Vettel's in, Perez is in. Still eking at that gap. Let's watch the fight behind us. Because it's going to be a very lonely race for Gasly for a while, which is what we want.
Alonso just pitted.
Gap is up to 5.5 seconds. That's good. And Verstappen is doing a pretty good job of holding back Leclerc here. Like that. That's exactly what we need. That's what's going to allow us to gain the lap time. There you can see we lapped a second faster than Verstappen. Because Verstappen's tyres are wearing out. His tyres are at 56%. We're at 83%. So not only are we on a faster compound, but we've got considerably more tread left on our tyres. When Leclerc gets through like that, the train starts moving at his pace, which is much quicker than Verstappen's. Still got just under 30 laps to go, yeah, but I mean it's a 1 minute lap, so yeah, we've got about 25 to 30 minutes of racing left, probably about 30 minutes of racing at most, unless we get VSCs or safety cars. Okay, so gap across the line, 5.7. Can Leclerc pull away from Verstappen and Norris now? Can they close him down? Looks like they can stay with him. Do I think my tyres will last? Yes, I do. They will. It's just a question of what condition they'll be in at the end. You know, they'll be close to 30%. This is why we're running at a slightly reduced pace setting, so that we're not dropping too much lap time, but we are pushing the tyres as hard as we would normally do on a standard pace setting. So it will extend the life of them a little bit. And like I said, if we do get a late safety car, then I can switch for a set of softs and have a massive grip advantage and pace advantage over Leclerc. Right now, my tyres aren't that much worse in terms of life left in them than Leclerc's hards. Which is why I'm lapping faster than him. Just. So you can see I'm 80% on my tyres, Leclerc's at 84%. There will come a point where he will start closing me down, but we haven't reached that point yet. And we probably won't reach that point, at least in terms of pure pace. We won't reach that point for at least another 15 laps. Probably like closer to 20 laps. I can't believe I'm still beating their times while saving the tyres. Well, we're not saving them that much. We're only saving them a little bit. You know, if I was on the purple setting, on full save setting, I would be losing a lot more lap time. I'd be prolonging the life of the tyres dramatically, but I'd be sacrificing a lot of lap time to do it. We would have a raw pace advantage over Leclerc if Leclerc was in clear air, but because he's with Verstappen and they keep getting DRS off each other, it is allowing them to start reducing that gap a little bit. As you can see, gap's now down to just about 5 seconds.
like there's
who
been a
locked up?
lock-up. Let's have a look. Okay,
Ocon
so
on turn
there
one.
we have the Alpine. Well, they've locked up. They won't
Oh.
have been happy about that.
One of the Alpha Tauris went wide as well. Alright, so now Leclerc has broken away from Verstappen. And Verstappen doesn't have Norris right behind him to DRS train himself back into contention. Now we'll get to see a true comparison of the pace between Gasly and Leclerc. So let's keep an eye on the gap. See if it goes up or down. Verstappen's tyres have given up, as have Norris's. That's why they are dropping back. But pace should be pretty similar between the two cars right now. We might have a minor pace advantage, but it will be a minor advantage, a tenth or two. There we go, less than 2/10. We did a 107.5, Leclerc did a 107.7. So, have we got any other fights up and down the grid? We've got a queue here. Bottas, Russell, Sainz and Hamilton. Sainz currently the fastest on track. Or at least, you know, fastest lap holder. Let's have a look at what the standings are going to look like if everything stays as it is right now. We are still gradually pulling out that tenth or two over Leclerc every lap. Norris is the pit lane. And Bottas. Let's see, who else is likely to pit soon? Sainz, I think, might have to pit. He should be okay, but his tyres are going to be pretty rubbish by the end. He's just gone off. Just as we were watching him, he ran himself off the track again.
They've locked up and gone straight on.
Verstappen on softs? That can't be right. That must mean he's about to pit onto softs. So I bet you he comes in at the end of this lap for a set of soft tyres. I think this is one of those weird visual tyre glitches. He's not actually on soft compound tyres. He's on hard still. Yeah, there we go. Into the pits. Going to go for some softs. He's going to be fast. There go the two Mercedes. They're running to the end. I think now that is everybody now running to the end. And the person who might stop again would be Sainz. And even then, that's going to be, the dying throes of the race. So, based on where everyone is, I think Verstappen is going to move up the order quite quickly. He's going to get back up to Sainz and then get past Sainz pretty quickly. So I think Verstappen's going to improve himself up to 5th place. Beyond that, I don't see much changing in the way of positions. And the tyre gap is now negligible between us and Leclerc, but we've got that 6-second gap, which is good. So let's go back to what we were about to do, and let's take a look at the standings as things currently stand. If the race were to finish right now, this is the points that would be allocated out. So Gasly would extend his gap over Leclerc to 47 points. In the Constructors, Ferrari would still pull away from us by 3 points again and get re-established the gap at 30 points. Going back to what it was 2 races ago. Red Bull having a terrible race, but they will score more points than they're on for right now. Verstappen will move further up the order. And there's the bottom half of the grid. Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo has been outperforming Lando Norris considerably, look. 9 points from 10 races. And 23 points from 10 races with a podium, and he's on for another 8 points as things currently stand. Verstappen is struggling to get through some of this traffic though. Here we go, here's a run. Can he get them both? Nope, nope, Ricciardo moved and blocked. Oh, Verstappen's just going to take the pair of them, look. Just punch his way through the middle of them. There we go, he's taken the fastest lap. And now that gap to Sainz is going to start coming down pretty quickly. Mr. Wiggins, how you doing? Okay, let's check back in with Pierre. Still comfortable. 6 points clear of Leclerc at the moment, or 6 seconds clear, as I should say. We've got some backup fuel if we need it. Hopefully we won't. We've still got a full battery. We've still got some life in the tyres. Although you can see the disparity between the compounds is starting to increase. We are going to start dropping pace to Leclerc soon. Leclerc actually marginally faster than us on that last lap. Is it worth going onto the red tyres and just overtaking everyone again? It's an unnecessary risk at this point. Verstappen hasn't been able to break away from Vettel yet, which is slowing down how quickly he can catch up to Sainz. It's a very short lap, and there's only 14 more laps to go after this lap, so it's not worth the risk of losing, 20 plus seconds and then having to try and make all that back up again in just 14 laps. So plus it means I'd have to push the tyres and the engine a lot harder than we're doing right now, so we just increase wear on this engine. It's much better for us to just keep this gap comfortable, keep the engine working at a lower rate, so it preserves the life of this engine for future races. It's not worth, the increased wear on the engine and the risk that we might not get back into P1 just to go chasing after the fastest lap, which is only 1 bonus point. I'm doing well, yeah, but I would have to get past, let's see, someone has spun off.
Sounds like we've had a spin.
That's Schumacher. We would have to fight our way back past Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton and Sainz. We'd have to overtake 4 cars, and with 2 Mercedes running nose to tail like that, they're going to be hard to get past. So it would be too much of a risk. I would have the pace, at least in the first half a dozen laps of new tyres, to easily start closing those guys down again, but it might be tricky to get past, and the longer it takes to get past one car, the more likely it is that I'm not going to be able to get back past Leclerc. So, like I said, I'd rather not gamble just to go chasing after a bonus point. I can afford to drop 1 point. And like I said, I'm not pushing the engine at the moment. We're actually saving on normal rate of wear by running the tyres at this pace. Because it doesn't just save the tyres, it saves the engine running at a lower pace like this as well. So this engine isn't wearing down as quickly as it would normally under normal pace conditions, especially if we were pushing the tyres. The engine would wear out faster, which means this is just another strong engine we can use later in the season and have a power advantage over other cars on other tracks. And when you start pushing, you also increase the likelihood of a lockup or a spin or a crash. Running like this, it doesn't eliminate that risk, but it reduces it.
Run wide.
So yeah, like I said, the fastest lap would be nice, but I'm not jeopardising a win just to go chasing the fastest lap. It's an unnecessary risk and not a worthy trade-off. Still comparable on lap times to Leclerc like this at the moment as well. He's not closing us down yet. Now if we get a safety car, I'll absolutely stop, as long as it happens in the next couple of laps. If it comes out with just a couple of laps to go, it's not worth it, but if we get a safety car in the next 3 or 4 laps, I will absolutely pit, because under safety car conditions I should be able to get out ahead of the 2 Mercedes, or at the very least I'll get out, you know, ahead of Hamilton. And then it'll only be like 2 cars that I have to overtake, as opposed to 4 or 5. Right, well I've got a little bit of tyres left. I am going to have a push for the fastest lap on these tyres. 1 lap, see what we can do before we slow everything back down again. Personally, I don't think we've got enough pace in these tyres to challenge Verstappen's time, but yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll see what we can do.
Let's lift off, please.
Copy.
Let's go for it.
Copy.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Yeah.
Another thing to factor in is we don't have the benefit of DRS on this map. That's why we're yellow in Sector 1, and probably going to be yellow in Sector 2 as well. No, green, so it's personal best, but it's not a purple sector. We should go purple in the final sector though. Okay,
That was a
so
very good lap.
we actually managed to get the fastest lap. Now we've got to really slam the brakes on again. Make sure these tyres don't drop off too dramatically.
Need to drop the pace.
Copy.
Need to drop the pace.
Yeah.
We pushed the tyres really hard on that lap. You can see the big sudden dip from that 1 lap of pushing. Alright, so what time did we actually set? We did a 105.9. Verstappen did a 106.2. What's his tyres looking like? He's at 73%. If he gets a clean run with some DRS, he could beat that.
Seven laps to go.
And Verstappen is closing in on the back of Hamilton. And Sainz. So yeah, if he catches them, he could take fastest lap from us.
6 more laps. 6 more laps.
Sainz has definitely fought his way back into contention, considering he had a penalty at the start. He ran wide twice and dropped a long way down the order. He's still damaged as well. He's still got front wing damage. No, he's changed his front wing. So he had a slow pit stop because he had that damaged front wing. And yet he's still in fighting for 4th place.
Five more laps.
Copy.
And 106.2 for Verstappen on that last lap. And now he's got to run.
4 more.
He's got to run on Russell now. This could be the lap he gets fastest lap. Right, Verstappen through to 3rd place. He's on the podium. His DRS pulling away as well. Someone spun. It was Verstappen. And that's ruined his race. He's just dropped to 8.
It's just a yellow at the moment. Just a yellow.
I was just praising him for getting himself onto the podium. And then he goes in too hard.
And there it is. That's where they spin out.
And immediately drops 5 places.
The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened.
And he's not going to make those back up now. There's not enough laps left. He's dropped all the way down to 10th. Okay, Verstappen has just destroyed any chance of a good finish for himself. No, Gasly, no! There goes the Ferrari, come on,
Let's see
get
what
started.
happened there. Now we see the Williams here. And this, yes, this is where they spun out.
Alright, so this is why I didn't want to push earlier, so that I would be able to push now that we've made a mistake.
Okay, keep it clean. Focus on the pace.
Alright, we've got to make up 3
And we
seconds.
have margin to push a little bit more on the tires.
Copy.
I had this race completely under control. Just need to get within a second. If I can get within a second, I can get past under DRS. battery left. Should have recharged it. Well, we had the lead. Okay, it's 2 seconds. There goes
Okay,
the
look after
battery.
the battery, Pierre. We're very low now.
Okay.
Just got to rely on pure base pace now. And I don't think I've got enough life in the tyres.
Only can use the deploy.
My best chance is
Copy.
to use some DRS on these first 2 braking zones.
Next lap, last lap.
Okay.
I'm not close enough. I'm not going to get him.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
This is all I've got left. It's the tyres and the fuel. I'm not going to get him. I needed one more lap. And even then, I don't know if I'd have caught him on another lap as well. He's got more grip than I have now. Ah, if I'd recharged the battery after we went for the fastest lap, I'd have been able to catch him. God, I can't believe we lost the race. That's cruel.
That's Leclerc.
That's very cruel.
Charles Leclerc is today's winner.
I don't know what to say. I'm gutted. I'm so gutted. We had that race so comfortably under control. What a disaster. Well, I say disaster. Second place is still a lot of points. 18 plus a bonus for the fastest lap, but should have been 26 instead of 19. So we're going to lose ground to Ferrari. Sainz got himself back on the podium. Yeah, we're going to lose ground to Ferrari in the constructors. We're going to lose a lot of ground to them.
A wonderful result here for the Williams driver.
And we'll lose a little bit of ground, I think, possibly in the Drivers' Championship. Because I think, actually no, I think Sainz is in second
This
in the
podium
Drivers,
is a brilliant
so
reward for everyone's hard work over
we might
the
actually
weekend.
extend our gap slightly in the Drivers.
The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here.
Never been so disappointed to finish second.
For these drivers, they'll be taking home their trophies and a decent haul of points for their team. Williams have got to be happy with their results here. This was good work.
This was an extremely convincing race for them. They're one impressive team, and they deserve to celebrate this properly.
At the end of the weekend, it's second place in the constructor standings for them.
As we reach mid-season, the battle will pick up again in the Côte d'Azur. Join us in the south of France at the circuit Paul Ricard.
Gutted. Absolutely gutted. Right, so we do lose ground to Charles Leclerc, who has leapfrogged over Carlos Sainz. We have a 34-point gap now, so we have lost a couple of points, but only a couple of points at the top of these standings there. Worse, though, is that gap in the Constructors opening up. We pulled in 19 points, Ferrari pulled in 40. So a gap that was 27 points is now, a fair bit more than that. It's what, 48 points? Not great. Red Bull only getting one single solitary point. That's really bad for Red Bull. Max getting 10th. Where did Perez finish in the end? Down in 12th. Exactly where he started. He didn't move up at all. A good result for Mercedes. They bring in a nice little haul of points. Look at that for Seb. Finishing in 5th. Up 11 places. 10 points for him. A good run for Bottas, who actually was the second fastest lap time, I think. Not Seb, sorry. Not Bottas, sorry. Ricciardo was second fastest. But Bottas was close. He was very close to stealing the fastest lap from us. No points for our drivers. And because of the crash, we do fail our finish position streak. Because only one car finished, not two. So that's cost us a loss of $673,000. But it's also cost us the chance to earn, a lot more than that. Well, our wind tunnel is upgraded. That's good. That'll pay off in terms of upgrading the car. Hospitality has been refurbed. We have 17 mil in the bank. It's not quite enough. I need 18 for the design centre. So close. Right, let's take a look at our staffing. No points yet. It's going to be a while for Resta. Tondi will get it in 4 weeks. It's going to be a long while for our engineers before they get another point. Check our drivers. Logan has earned a point in general. We'll throw that onto his braking. Lando still has a negative outlook towards the team, even though the car is in a better shape than his. That's frustrating. We are upgrading the boardroom. That's going to take another 13 days. That will help make us a bit more enticing. I am very tempted to throw another upgrade onto the hospitality centre. That would give us quite a hefty boost to our team attractiveness. That might be enough to entice Lando. Yeah, I'm going to do it. We'll get a boost when that gets refurbed as well. Or upgraded. Our staff facilities, again, we could really do with upgrading the race simulator. But before I upgrade or refurbish that, we do really need to get that extra design slot completed. I don't know, maybe we might just have to go on the assumption that we're not going to be able to do it this season, which would be a shame, because we've got a lot of things that are starting to wear out. Our factory is getting worse and worse. That's going to need an upgrade / refurb soon. We shall see. Do I want to pause my staff experience for a week for $100,000? No, I do not. It's not enough. We exceeded expectations, but it could have been so much better. We do have a result on the sporting regs. So this was to change the points, I believe. It's been voted against. So we will stick with the same point scoring system as we currently have. We have got a full breakdown of Lando's profile now. Here you can see his pace stats. He's mighty. If we compare him to Gasly, there's the difference. You can see braking, both have a 91 braking stat. The cornering for Pierre is much better than Lando's, but everything else, Lando is better, which makes him a very fast driver. And if we compare him to Teo, it's not even close. He's up comfortably on every single stat. The only one that's even close is the smoothness and the cornering. They're the only ones that are even, close. Well, I suppose defending as well, but that's one of the least important stats. So yeah, it would be a huge step up for us if we can get Lando Norris in the car. In terms of his contract, he's not the cheapest. 10 mil a season. He has a 1 mil bonus for 6. We can work a contract where he won't need to get a bonus. It probably mean we'll have to pay a little bit more. His buyout fee is not cheap at 12.25 mil. That will come down as the season progresses, but he's still got over 2 years left on his contract. 2.5 years or so left on that contract. So yeah, it's not going to be cheap to get him, but if we do get him, he's going to pay for himself, because we'll be able to earn a lot more in terms of sponsor income, because we'll be able to be a lot more aggressive with our guarantees. Alright, what's the other email that I'm missing? The wind tunnel. Okay, so we've got 11 days to go until the next Grand Prix, which is the French Grand Prix, home Grand Prix for our 2 drivers. We do not have an upgrade ready to drop. The rear wing isn't going to hit until Spa, and the research projects that we've got going on aren't going to drop until after Spa or after France. So no new upgrade coming in the immediate future. Still got it's only 2 races actually. It's France and Hungary, and then that rear wing should be ready on the day of Spa or just around that time. Let's have a quick look on the calendar. So here's Spa. That's when the underfloor research will be ready. There's our rear wing. That'll give us a week to build the rear wings in time for the Belgian Grand Prix. And then we'll have an ATR period starting straight after that before we go to Zandvoort. And then we have our board assessment review after Hungary. So in 2 races time, we'll have an assessment to see how good a job we've been doing. I personally think we've been doing a magnificent job. If the board don't agree with me, then the board is stupid. There you can see, absolutely delighted with the race results. It's just wall-to-wall delighted. They are very happy with our objective because we've already completed it. We have now as well, with that last race, completed our long-term objective as well. That is now done and dusted. So all we have to do now to keep the board very happy is to make sure that we finish higher than, you know, 6th or higher in the Constructors' Championship, and we are still potentially in the hunt for the championship itself, although it's looking less and less likely with Teo still in the car. Let's advance some time a little bit, get ourselves prepped and ready. We have a low number of parts. Oh yes, I forgot to check that. Let's manufacture some new parts. So let's do a new chassis. Let's do a new suspension. I don't need a new front wing, I don't think. Oh, rear wing is the other one. Rear wings don't break very often. I'm not going to make another new rear wing because we are working on a new one at the moment. So we've only got to get through the next 2 races without losing more than one rear wing, and we'll be fine. And then we can just build the new spec and put that straight on the car without having to throw away a lot of excess outdated parts. Let me check the condition of the powertrain, and we've destroyed a gearbox and an ERS unit thanks to that crash. That is not so good. So that's 2 wrecked ERS units already. And a completely destroyed, almost new gearbox. So we've got 2 gearboxes basically to last the rest of the season. As long as we don't have another wreck, those 2 gearboxes will last, because we can still use this one for practice for the next few races at least, and those 2 should last us through the rest of the season. But losing the ERS module is not good, because we are now going to have to get another new ERS module. Let's buy it now, and we'll choose when to put it in a little bit later in the season. In terms of engines, the engine took a hit as well. That was a nearly new engine, and it's now down to, what, 50%. But we do have 2 practically brand new engines and one that's not too badly worn, so we should be able to cope with those 3 engines for the remainder of the season without too many issues. Yeah, not ideal. Right, there's the warning about the gearbox and the ERS. We'll sort that out when we actually get into the French Grand Prix. Our suspension simulator has been fully improved. That's good. So that's now up to rank 3. So that'll give us a 6% boost to brake cooling when we design another suspension part. Let me get to race weekend day. There we go. And let's take a look at the state of our car going into this weekend. See where we sit. Okay, we've lost out some speed again. Our low speed cornering has dropped a bit more as well. Our brake cooling and engine cooling has definitely dropped compared to the grid. We've lost out on DRS as well. We are starting to drop behind in the development race. This is why we need that extra slot. We probably have started researching a little bit too early this year. So I know I said that the rear wing was probably going to be the last big development for the car this year, but I might do one more big development to, end the season strongly. We'll see what kind of performance gains we get once we get that new rear wing on the car. I am going to make ourselves another suspension upgrade, and I might well do a new front wing upgrade as well for the car, just so we can really start nailing down that brake cooling problem, because it's problems like that that's causing our drivers to lock up, and it's just hurting us as you saw with Teo. So that is the end of tonight's stream. Tomorrow is Friday night, so we'll be back with Haas, and we'll be finishing off the season. So, well, getting close to finishing off the season. We're just going to do a single race tomorrow night. So it'll be Brazil with Haas tomorrow night, and then next Friday will be the final Haas episode of the season finale at Abu Dhabi, and then I might retire that season. We should have hopefully the next update for the game by then, which will bring in some little tweaks and changes, and it'll also bring in some updated car liveries and stuff and models as well. So that might be the perfect time to maybe start a different career, and replace the Haas career with something a little bit different. We shall see. We shall see once we get to the end of the season there. I'll keep the file in case we do decide to go back to Haas again at some point in the future. We're not going anywhere with Williams. Williams will be back on Monday as always with the French Grand Prix, the home Grand Prix for our engine supplier Renault and our 2 drivers as well. So until tomorrow night for Haas or Monday night for Williams, thanks for watching. I am Jubob, and I'll be back again very soon.